Yes, Shalom Israel.
Shalom.
This is the I.S.U.P.K Trinidad and Tobago. Again, the I.S.U.P.K is not affiliated with no other religious group or organization. And tonight is Sunday night scripture breakdown. I'm priest and officer, so I just holding it down. Officer Kalawan, he's on his way. And again, the I.S.U.P.K again is coming out of 125th Street, Harlem, New York, again under command of Gen.YAHANNA. And we teach the truth about Bible is recorded, it's the Black, Hispanics, and Native Indian records. And again, we are here to remind brothers and sisters, just as have been reminded, coming into the truth, coming into the knowledge and knowing who we are, coming in to recognize that you are the one who have been oppressed, by all these, other nations, and each and every one had a hand in your oppression. And this is why, again, the I.S.U.P.K, have been bringing out this truth since 1969. Again, through the records, and you could find the history, the archaeology, all that your forefathers have left, for you. Just like any father would leave, records for or a remembrance for his children, or to not walk after, all these wicked ways or unrighteous ways, but to make sure that you walk after the footsteps in the guidance and the protection, and walk under the spirit of the Most High in Christ, and understanding that these records was recorded for you. And again, tonight is the Sunday night scripture breakdown class. And again, once again, Officer Galawan, he's on his way, and I am just holding on, until he comes. So again, very, very edifying, and very as the scripture say, that brotherly love. Because again, the class or the live that Commander General Yahanna did last night, and it was very, very edifying, and it was very important to pay attention, because he went into what is taking place right now, during the upcoming elections in America. And when he went into it, it had, a lot of, as we say, food, a lot of substance, a lot of, edification and a lot of awareness where Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians should pay attention to. And, as the class go on, we go through the video up in the chat, and you can view it. But the time of the end is near, and when we say it is near, all these signs is before us. And as the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, or the spirit started, hover around. And how it hovering around by righteous men, just as it was in the scriptures, that men thought that these laws were not done away with. Men thought that, that our forefathers left records that we should follow and that we should abide by. And they left records that as our sons and our sons' sons, come after, as we say, generation after generation, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, that they will continue on in this as customs and these laws and walk after, because the teachings of the Most High, because these records was left for a purpose, and left for rulership, and not just rulership, but righteous rulership. These records was only given to a specific people, a special people, a chosen people. And who are these? It is recorded in these records. And, as Commanding General Yana went in last night, and he brought out a lot, and he showed you that the spirit that is hovering right now, it had consumed a lot of our people. But there is still hope. There's still assurance. There's still, that way out. And that way is in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General Yang. Because why? There's no way that any Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian could go to these Christian church or these, Muslim mosques or all these religious organizations and get the fullness and get the truth and get, the proper or the correct interpretation of these scriptures. Because why? Through all these scriptures is only Black people, Hispanic people, and Native Indian people carrying on conversation and, being reminded by the Most High, their God, being reminded that these is your records, this is your guidance, this is your way of coming back to knowing who you are. And the only way, again, you can understand this is by righteous men. And not just any righteous Black men. Not men who will, use you for gain or use you for and call you by any sort of other by names, as we say, for example, roaches, all these by names. But men will remind you that you are royalty, that you are king, that you are queen, that you are the ones who supposed to be, in position in running this society. And because of, following after the ways or the customs of our oppressors, this is why you are in this condition today. But again, the reminder is here. The time is near. And this is why we are at the I.S.U.P.K is, bringing out, and because we are reminded ourselves to love our brothers as ourselves. And this is how we demonstrate that, by going to these records, by being, taught and being able to teach, being able to direct brothers and sisters into the right path. And the right path is through these records, the Bible, which is your history. And nowhere again you could find this other than in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General Yahanna. And as we continue to go through, the report, just give me the book of Matthew, chapter 1 and verse 21. Because again, a lot is going on right now, and the awareness must come, and the awareness must come to show blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that who your king really, died for, who your king really set his life on the line for. And this is something that was reminded again by Commander General Yahanna last night, on his Black Watch, and reminded that every brother in the I.S.U.P.K would take that stand, would lay his life for his brother. Because why? Because of the upbringing, because of the righteous, leadership, because of brotherhood, because of, that love that we demonstrate one for another. And our lives is always on the line for our brothers. Our lives is always on the line for our sisters. This is why we are here. And as classes, continue to go out through, the four corners of the earth, continue to bring out this news, to continue to bring out this word, which is the word of the Most High God, not our word, but the word of the Most High God. And as it have been handed down, SHALAM. As these records have been handed down and it passed down to faithful men, these are the faithful men that is before you right now, not all these other religious organizations. Because why? We will teach you, just as the records say, to be separated, but they will teach you to join hands, to love, and the love that they teach you is hug and kiss your enemies, people who have oppressed you, people who have downtrodden you. But the Most High God had made a clear separation, and this is why now, as we say through the scriptures, is remind us that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians should come back to their records. And how they should come back? By paying tune or paying attention to these classes, by logging in to the I.S.U.P.K, by coming and, as you say, sitting with your brothers, sitting with your sisters, breaking bread, and getting these scriptures and them, break down, and not just only break down, but having that righteous conversation with your brother, having that righteous conversation with your sister, right? Give me Matthew 1 and 21.
Matthew chapter 1 and verse 21. And he shall bring forth his son, and thou shalt call his name Yahweh,
Right.
for he shall save his people from their sins.
Right. And this is as we continue to go through, as we say, these last days, and the days continue to count on. But our mind and our attention is to do what? To remind our brothers as ourselves, and to remind our brothers that there is, that king, or already something, or already established by the Most High, to do what? To rule this society, or to rule this earth. But again, your hopes is in what? Is in all these politicians and all these, these men around the earth right now, who only selling you dreams, who only selling you, again, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian, use you as we say, as live bait, as entertainment towards, their lifestyle. They would sit back and rock back, and they'll be entertained by you, black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man. And this is why now in the I.S.U.P.K, we are here to remind you that your king, Yahweh, or what you will know as Jesus Christ, as the scriptures say, this is was already prophesied throughout the records that you know that the Most High will set forth a king, and he will be the king over the nation, over Israel, over these 12 tribes, and we will walk under that king. And now we see in here in Matthew that this king, what they are, what the records has been talking about is Jesus Christ, which you will know as Jesus Christ. But the yeah, Shalom Yahweh Shem. But because of oppression, they took this and turned it against you. They paint the images, they change times, yes, they did all this and turn you away from knowing your God, turn you away from understanding that the identity of your king is recorded right here. But the identity that they gave you was a what? Was a depiction, as we say, of a Caucasian man, not the depiction that is recorded in Revelation 1:13 to 15. And this is why now, as you read here in Matthew 1 and 21, as the scripture say, and she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahushai, or Jesus, if you will know him, for he shall save his people from their sins. Give me 10, 5 and 7. Matthew 10, 5 and 7. Because we are here to remind you that there's a king that is set to rule this place, to run this society. Yeah. There's a king that is set that will awaken, blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians from their sleep. That will revive you. Not that white depiction, not that image of the beast. What we know as yet, what we know as today, right? Yes, Shalom Yahweh Shem. You ready, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. They're toward again, I know past the class, the priest and officer got on. Yeah, Shalom Yahweh Shem.
Yeah. That's all you want. Or you swap your funds on the phone? Normal.
Yeah.
Just only can remember tonight is yeah, yes. Yeah. Alright, so the famous DSS and the famous drugs to Swaziman call it. Right? Somebody give me Zephaniah, sing Zephaniah 2 and 12. Right, Zephaniah 2 and 12. Right, just goes to show how oppression is for black people. Some blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Right now, we under the gun of all the other races. The other races who want black people to prosper. You understand? They don't ever want blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to prosper. When they're seeing black people mobilizing and forming and strengthening to unite, there's the other races that strive all sorts of means to actually fight us down and pull us down and make us remain at the bottom, have us fighting like crabs in a bucket. You understand? That's what the other races does do. So this black boy from La Hoqueta tried to make up some business to make black people have some sort of financial freedom, right here in Trinidad and La Hoqueta. And because the 1% in Trinidad, who's also known as white people, right? There's white people, but they call themselves the 1%, right? They call themselves the 1% because there's just like 1% in Trinidad. It's not a majority of them, it's 1%. They're very small, but they're powerful. Right? There's white people. Right? The other 99% is, let me see, the dominant side 99% is mostly East Indians and the black people. Right? It will have the other Chinese and everybody else, but those that 1% are white people, right? Who come from Syria, right? He had remember? He had no? Okay, all right. Yeah. Mm. All right, so those the 1% in Trinidad, right? They're trying to find some means to stop black people to have financial freedom. And this is just proof to show that the only way for these other races and them to really not attack black people is to keep the laws of the Bible. So not that Christian garbage we just do, not that Islam garbage we just do, but to really keep the laws of the Bible. So we have to really sit down, come in the I.S.U.P.K, learn the laws of the Bible. Okay, you can't just sit down and read the Bible and understand it. Right? You will never understand the Bible from just sitting down and reading it by yourself. Tying up your head with some piece of rock and sitting on your corner and reading it, you will never understand the Bible. So you have to be taught. Christ was taught. Paul was taught. You must be taught the Bible. And who you must be taught it by? The priests and prophets of God in the I.S.U.P.K. Nobody else can teach you the Bible except the men in this school. You understand? We alone can teach you the laws of the Bible. Right? And how we could stop them other races from oppressing us? How we could really do that? So I could just share this. Alright. So how we could really stop the other races and them from oppressing us, the Chinese. Right? The Chinese, the 1%. How we could really stop that? By stop eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster and ham. Alright, stop eating manikou. Stop eating rabbit. You understand? Them is the only ways how we could you understand? Them is the only ways how when we form an organization and mobilize for us to move forward and uplift blacks and Hispanic people. The other races could do what they want, they can't stop us. You understand? But I mean, my heart goes out to the founder, the DSS. But the only way to really stop this is to keep the laws of the Bible. You understand? Stop eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. Because it could go forward after people do whatever they're doing. It could go forward. You understand? But the mentality will remain the same. As I always say, a lot of people, black people say, what happened to us? Are we cursed? Why we just fight on each other? We curse or something? Why this has only happened to black people? Are we cursed? Why the 1% and the Chinese and the East Indians that attack black people? Are we cursed? Well, yes, according to the Bible, the Lord did put a curse on black people. You understand? So that is true. The Lord did put a curse on black people. That is why black people is cursed today. And there's a reason why the Lord also put a curse on black people. You understand? It's because why? We sinning against the Lord. Yeah, so that's because we sinning against the Lord. That's why we are cursed. You understand? That is why we are cursed. It's because we keep sinning against the Lord. And now is the time for us to gather ourselves together. Because we alone is a nation who is not desired. Yeah, scripture, I'm sure.
Come.
Yeah, good.
Zephaniah, right?
Yeah. I believe it's 2:12 or 2:1 or something.
Which one?
Gather yourselves together.
2 and 1.
2:1, yeah, go ahead.
The book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 1. Gather yourselves together, ye, gather together, O nation, not desire.
Go ahead, Tamar, go ahead. Read next one.
Verse 2. Before the decree bring forth the day pass of that shaft, before the fierce anger of the Most High come upon you.
Right. So we, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we have to gather ourselves together because we is the nation who is not desired. Everybody wants the Chinese and the East Indians, the white man, the 1%. Everybody, but nobody wants black people. Everybody wants to be just like us. Everybody wants to rap like us, talk like us, dance, sing, do all sorts of things just like us, play basketball, football like us. Everybody wants to do the things that we just do, but nobody wants to be us. We is the nation who is not desired. Everybody else loves the other races on you, all the different races, everybody loves them. You understand? Even black people are not love the other races on you. But we is the onlyest race. You understand? Who nobody wants to be. We is the race who is not desired. You understand? And now is the time for us to come together before the Lord set his anger upon us. You understand? Now is the time for us to come, because when Christ returns, when Yahweh shall return, it is going to be a bloody day. It ain't going to be a day he giving out cookies and creams. You understand? It's going to be a bloody day. You understand? That is what that day is going to be about. Give me the Deuteronomy 28 and 15. Yeah, Deuteronomy 28 and 15. You understand? So of course, you know, it have a video right now going on social media in Trinidad here. You know, a man take out a picture of him play way, the illegal way, in the Chinese booth, wherever he was going tongue in the Chinese place to play the play way. Yeah, true? Right. You see,
He said he's one with sending it after.
Okay, all right, no, so. All right, so the Chinese and them have the illegal play way going on. The government not doing nothing about it. But a black man open up a business to help black people, and the government trying to shut it down. You understand? So I mean, again, this only happening because we sin against the Lord. This is why people always say, "Are we curse?" People see we curse, but I don't understand why we curse. You understand? There is a reason why we are cursed, and because we sinned against the Lord. The Christian church will teach you that. The Muslim mosque will teach you that. You understand? Yet again, the I.S.U.P.K can understand why we curse. We curse because we continue to be eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster, and manipu, and goatee. You understand? That is why we curse. We curse because we still want to be selling drugs. We curse because we still want to be homosexuals. So we curse. The Lord cursed us. You understand? Read the scripture there.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
Yes, some died 28 and 50, Deuteronomy.
1550.
No, Deuteronomy 28 and 1 5.
Oh, so I was reading 50.
No, 1 5.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Most High thy power, to observe and do all his commandments, his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So, again, if we don't listen to the voice of the Lord, all these curses is going to come upon us and take over us. So when people say, are we cursed? You understand? When people on the radio station and the TV, black people want to know what's going on with us, why we fighting on each other, why we killing each other. Are we cursed? Why is the 1% attacking only the black race? Are we cursed? You understand? Yes, we are cursed. And what is a curse according to the Bible? A curse is a punishment. That's what a curse is. Right now, black people is being punished because we're not keeping the laws of the Most High. Right? That is why when we set up a business, the business is going to fall because the other races coming to attack us. And they only come to attack us because the Lord is not with us. This is our punishment. So the Lord is not being with us, He put a curse on us, and that's one of the curses. Our businesses will fall in. Instead of Sabda and them coming to us for something, we go be going to Sabda for something. And that is what going on right now with the 1% in Trinidad. And they're realizing it in 3 months' time. Black people went to the DSS and this man, the amount of money that they gather, how much about millions they gather. They say, but wait now, the bank can make that within how much ever time frame. So they say, nah, this person like he's serious, he real. He gonna make black people there's gonna be our next Black Wall Street here. We have to crash this Wall Street. Bomb it up just like what they did to America. Bomb up Black Wall Street in America. And before you can start to prosper. So that is what they're doing here now. Right, continue, Amsha. Let me hear the next one.
Verse 16.
Yeah, let me hear.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field.
Cursed shall thou be in the city, right? And cursed shall thou be in the field. Cursed shall thou be in the city. You understand? That's why there's always so much of black on black crime every day. Right? Black people fighting each other down, killing each other. You understand? Children just going missing. You understand? When you look at it, it's mostly black people going missing. Whether they find them back in 5 days' time or whatever, children just going missing. You understand? Crime, gunshots. You understand? And cursing the city and cursing you.
Cursed shall thou be in the field.
And cursed shall thou be in the field. You understand? What do you mean by that? Anybody? Cursed shall thou be in the field. Yeah, Tazo.
When we go to the farm and plant them, putting photos in that.
What happened to it?
Or slackness, the locust leaves of the fruits,
Right.
the vegetables, the vegetation, the land, the strength of it, that kind of thing.
Right. So we go. So when you go and plant, you can already reap the benefits side, because it will just be destroyed. So read the next one again there, I'm sure.
Is it verse 17?
Yeah.
Or
You read that one here, 17 over here.
Verse 17. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 17. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store.
Right. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Anybody want to take a try at it? It shall be thy basket and thy store.
So like that's for me, you know, the basket of almost coming back from the same, like wherever, like from the first one of us at that, or was saying like, you know, you go and plant and it's just like very little you get, right? So now it's like if you now go to the site to sell now, it's like wherever the crops and all you have there, like you're not even getting, you're not even out there selling, you're not even getting sales and things for the your produce you have.
Right, so yeah, basket and thy store. So yeah, similar to what you saying. Anybody else want to try?
Yeah, so like I said,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
yeah, you say, first shall be thy basket,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and again, as you going down now, these are some of the curses that, you know, that befall us,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in these last days, you know, that our food, let me use it in that way, you know, the amount of food that, you know, that, let me say like you used to go to the grocery and you used to come out with two trolley. Now you go to the grocery, you come out with one bag. So, you know, and then as you say, like with your storing, it's like a curse. So the amount you have before, now you wouldn't really have that amount because why? You're falling under, you know, these curses and them. So you're no longer blessed in that perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you know you're no longer besting like the basket and the store. So you know like goods as you're saying, right? Like buying goods and your store. Your store won't really prevail. You know, it go crash.
Right.
You go get nobody to come and buy. Right? So it shall be like basket and like store. And so go in negotiating out the things so high now. You know, pressure back then $500 could have full up the trolley now. You understand? $500 they could barely see things in that basket. You understand? They could barely see what in that basket. And everything that's gone up except your salary. Everything has gone up except your salary. Yeah, it has all.
For me, right? Like as you just see with the store, you can have store up, you know, you can have store. Like a store is not a big amount. You know, like people like on the street, just to make a little dumpling, you know. And I say, well, you know, I bring over our whole team, my brothers, you know, I can bring over my neighbor with my family, I used to have big table. You can't do that no more, you know, because you have stuff that you can barely have enough to survive when you go from check to check.
Yeah.
Opposed to, you know, having a decent abundance amount, you know. Because I cook here, like normal, you know, you have the street and see you really next to that coming from the go and bubble up.
Yeah. That's what's going on. Right? Give me give me 41. 41. Yeah, 43. What is 43?
43.
No, not 43. Yeah, 44. 44. Mm-hmm.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail.
Anybody understand that? Anybody want to explain that? You saying it?
Again, so like I said,
Yeah, so what?
the scripture says, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. So it's like a reverse from the blessings So now we're back under the curses because again when you read higher in the earlier part from verse 1 coming on before you read the curses, it's like they would come to us and we wouldn't want nothing from them. So now it's a reverse now that we go into them. We go into them to borrow.
Right. We go into so like we go into the 1% to borrow, but the 1% not coming to we.
Right.
Well and truly they're supposed to be coming to us to borrow. Right. But we go into them. And there's a curse. So again, so when the 1% and then the people who own the banks seeing this black man and helping black people, they realizing nobody going to the banks again. They said, nah, you can't allow this stuff. This is like could be our next Black Wall Street. Let me mash up that. So black people go hard to come to us to get. You understand? Because eventually, if that Black Wall Street prosper, we go be going to them. And we what? You understand? Then the Lord now with us. The Lord now with us. You understand? We still eating pork, we still eating crab, we still doing all sorts of evilness. So the Lord allow this stuff. You understand? Until we act together. Right? Give me 48.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Most High shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
Right, so we will be going to our enemies for everything. Clothes, food, money, everything we will go into our enemies for. You understand? And the end result, he will destroy us. He will put this yoke of iron around the neck. You understand? I know you have a iron arm around the mind right now. You understand? Until he has destroyed us. That is what going on here. Yeah, I'm Tazo.
Like we are talking about the central bank.
Right.
Or the central bank locked down on all the monetary, anything looking like the money, like the SS money, they back down. They force him out all the bank accounts. So in other words, they believe in themselves that we have a structure, we can put nothing in place. That's so that they eradicate that. So now you say, nah, we the bosses, and then all that place there. And then this now, as they now say there, you have you can iron around the mind.
Yeah.
So we can't think about coming together as we should because nobody out there equipped as the I.S.U.P.K and the manager and to do people in the right way.
Yeah, that's right. Nobody out there equipped. When we alone equipped, we alone understand these things and know how to come out of it. You understand? As the scripture said, the Lord laws is not grievous, it's hard. It's easy. You understand? If you go in miraculous, just do it no bacon shark. You understand? It's hard not to eat shark. I also want to eat shark. If I continue to eat shark, black people will continue to be cursed. You understand? So all them people who in them Christian church and believe some spiritual Orisha thing could save black people. Them Orisha thing can't save black people. You understand? It's only keeping the laws is what could save blacks and Hispanic people. Right? Yeah, read verse 49. Sure.
Verse 49?
Yeah.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 49. The Most High shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of this earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Right? Right, so this talking about all them other countries and them, all them other races, what has used the eagle as they enslave them, force them to speak Spanish. You understand? Then the English came, force us to speak English. You understand? We don't know their language, but they force you to speak their language, force you into their Christianity. You understand? So this is what the Lord is saying here. So we are cursed. You understand? So all those people on the radio station, TV who want to know what is wrong with black people and saying, are we cursed? Yes, we are cursed. A curse is a punishment from the Lord. You understand? Right now we are being punished for eating anything that the Lord said not to eat, for doing anything that the Lord said not to do. Use a man, why you want to pawn a woman's clothes for? You understand? Why would a woman want to pawn man's clothes? You understand? All those things is curse. There's laws in the Bible the Lord said not to do. Right? Let's see. Yeah, so give me verse 54. Yeah, 54.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother, and towards the wife of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
Right, so the man that is tender among you, very delicate, right? It's talking about a young man, right? His eye shall be evil towards his brother, right? So his eyes is going to be evil towards his brother, right? So this is why you see all these sorts of fighting amongst black people, amongst family members. This is a curse that the Lord put on blacks and Hispanic people. You understand? And toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. You understand? All these things were happening within the black community. Give me 56.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground, for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil towards her husband of her bosom, and towards her son, and towards her daughter.
Right? So, okay, so again, this is just to show how we used to treat women back then. The tender and delicate woman amongst you. You understand? Which would not adventure to set the sole of her feet upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness. Right? Her eyes now shall be evil towards her husband of her bosom, and towards her son, right, and towards her daughter. So the woman now, she's going to have an evil eye. She's not going to show respect for her son. She's not going to show respect for her daughter and her husband. And this is the curses that the Lord put upon us, right, for all blacks and Hispanic people. When you really go into the black community and you see how women just treat their husbands. I mean, you can even see it in the TV now. With all them women and them who doing all sorts of evilness towards their husband on TV. They might leave their child there and go and party. The child hungry. They're studying to party more and they're studying their own children. The wife studying the pastor more than she own husband. You understand? And the husband, the pastor making the wife think evil towards her husband. All those things are what was going on amongst when the woman go to church, and all these things that's happening amongst the black community. It is a curse. It's just a curse that the Lord put upon us. Christianity is a curse. You understand? The woman walking there to church, everything the pastor say and do, she go do it. If the pastor say leave she husband, she go leave it. All these are curses upon us right now. You understand? That was always say, I heard the general saying, if you want to see crime decrease, so you need to lock up every single Christian preacher and turn the Christian church into a homeless shelter. You will see crime drop. You understand? And once crime drop, you know it's a good thing going to happen. Something good going to happen once you see that crime start to drop. You're going to know, yeah, we're on the right path now. You understand? Okay, 59, was it? 59?
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 59. Then the Most High will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed even great plagues, and of long continuous scores, sickness and long continuous.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead, 60. Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 60. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the disease of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee.
Go ahead, 61.
Verse 61. Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Most High bring upon thee until thou be destroyed.
All right. So the Lord is going to bring all sorts of sickness. There's going to be sickness in your seed, sickness upon you, all sorts of plagues and diseases. The Lord is going to bring. Sometimes people will say, I know how a child, why is my child born so? Why is my child born deformed? Or however, my child born with asthma, my child born with diabetes. You understand? All those is plagues, sickness, disease that the Lord said, and the plagues of thy seed. You understand? Even great plagues, long continuance. You understand? As it's saying here now, sickness and plagues that is not written in the book of the law, which is talking about coronavirus now. Back in days it was not the swine flu, but the Spanish flu. You understand? All sorts of sickness are not even written in the book of the law. The Lord is going to bring upon us. You understand? All those things, the sickness and plagues, the Lord says is going to bring upon us. Because why it is a curse. The Lord is punishing blacks and Hispanic people for what we do. You understand? We're not eating, we keep on eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. So there is what it is going on here right now. Read 64.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 64. And the Most High shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Right? So even wood and stone, right? That's talking about Christianity and Islam. Right? The wood, of course, is Christianity. The stone is Islam. Right? So the Lord says He's going to scatter us amongst all people. So the Lord put us in amongst all the other races. And there's a curse all over the earth. And we go serve other gods, which our fathers didn't know. And our fathers didn't know Christianity and Islam. But we, because we curse against the Lord, we go and serve gods, which our fathers didn't know, which is wood and stone, Christianity and Islam. And so we go and bow down to a rock and worship a rock in Mecca. Right? This wood, we're going to worship this false image of Christ. Understand? That is what is going to happen here right now to black people. And once we keep worshiping those false image of Christ and we keep worshiping that rock or that stone, the Lord is going to continue to be cursing us. He's going to continue to be punishing us. until he had enough. We say, all right, my son, the ones who keeping the laws, save them. The ones who ain't keeping it, destroy them, wipe them off. You understand? And the ones who keep the laws, let them enslave the other races and them. You understand? When the Lord had enough, that is what is going to happen. So the Lord gave me this grace period for us to change the ways. You understand? Yes, we know Crease, the man, the founder of the SS, doing something good. But this would not have happened if we had just keep the laws of the Bible. You understand? So all them things, them radio announcers doing, whatever Shango Baptist thing they're doing, Orisha people singing songs with them Orisha people. That thing would not help. All we have to do is to stop eat pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. Stop doing what we're doing. Stop being drug dealers. Come together, keep the laws of the Bible, and separate from them other races. I also hear that saying the East Indian community backing up the DSS. Now we have to tell the East Indian community, or stay with other community. We don't want to here. Because by that integration, you're gonna just keep on falling. You understand? Over history, we see it. Black Wall Street was up for a good time period. Then the white man came and he bombed it up with the bombs. And that was it. It had no more Black Wall Street after that. You understand? So, the only way we could save that is to keep the laws of the Bible. You understand? And if the Lord just happened to just bless him and give him a second chance, to make black people, because right now black people, their eyes open up. You understand? Black people eyes open up now, they're seeing, hey, they have a target amongst black people. Them other races, they're targeting black people. So the eyes, it opening slowly but surely, it opening. But let me hope it open fast enough where we could say, yeah, boy, let me stop eat pork and crab and them thing, Let me stop celebrating Christmas. Let me stop celebrating Halloween, Thanksgiving. Let me stop celebrating my birthday. So and once all those things happen, yeah, the Lord is going to come right back at and be right here with us again. So give me the last one. I'm 68. Sure.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68. And I shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I speak unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
Right, so you shall be sold into Egypt again with ships. Now, the first time we went into Egypt, we didn't went in with ships. We didn't went in Egypt with ships. So we walked across there, wasn't with no ships. So why they say we go into Egypt again with ships? Of course, it's talking about today's captivity, right? Egypt is just a word that means bondage, right? So talking about today's bondage that we're in right now, right? Look at the transatlantic slave trade. This was in ships. They took us from the west coast of Africa and put us in Brazil, Colombia, Mexico, Cuba, and forced us from the west coast of Africa. They took us into Brazil and those Spanish-speaking countries and forced us to speak Spanish. They took us into Venezuela, forced us to speak Spanish. Took me into Trinidad, forced me to speak Spanish, English, and whatever other language. You understand? So this is what it was talking about. Took us into Egypt, into bondage again with ships. This is talking about today's captivity. Right? And where Moses was at that time talking to the children of Israel, he said he won't see that land no more. He was in Israel. He said This year, why speaking unto you, you ain't gonna see it again. Right? We ain't seeing Israel again. Right? Israel is our homeland. We ain't gonna see that place again. And we're going to be sold unto our enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. That is what's going on right now. Right now, we slaves. Right? We still slaves right now. Right? Before, we used to call them slave master. But when slavery was so-called abolished, the white man said, all right, do not call me a slave master anymore, but call me your employer. Right? Your employer or your supervisor. Right? So that is why in the UPK, when we say, you know, we go in to be slave, you know what we say? The slave master said, don't call him your slave master anymore, call him your employer or your supervisor. Right? So you have to call him slave master now. He's now our employer, or we call him supervisor. That is obviously we go into slavery. That is in history books of when the so-called abolished slavery. That's what the slave master said to call him now. Call him supervisor or employer. Right? Or he was still over us, giving us less than not even minimum wage, lower than a minimum wage. You know, we started a fight for it today in 2020. We started a fight to get increase in salary. So we still slaves. Slavery and abolished, we still slaves. We still bondmen and bondwomen. And nobody is going to save us except Christ. When Christ returns, he's the man who's going to save us. He's going to give us that time period to save us. Right? To be honest, somebody else give me John 17 and 9. John 17.
The book of John chapter 17 and verse 9. I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine.
All right. Anybody know what you're talking about there? When you say I pray for them, I pray not for the world. All right? What are you talking about there? What Christ talking about there? Because obviously it's written in red. What Christ talking about there? Oh.
You're talking about his disciples, aren't you?
All right, so you're talking about his disciples. So Christ saying, I pray for them, which is the disciples, I pray for them. I pray not for the world. I ain't praying for nobody who's in this world. You understand? But for them, which thou hast given me, for they are thine. All right, go ahead. Verse 10.
Verse 10. And all mine are thine, and thine are mine, and I am glorified in them.
All right. Go ahead.
And now I am no more in the world, but these are in the world, and I come to thee. Holy Father, holy power, keep through thine own name those whom thou hast given me, that they may be one as we are.
Right. So you know, Christ just talking to the Father or praying to the Father. They are thine and thine are mine, and I'm glorified in them. You understand? And we say, and now I am no more in the world. Right? I am no more in the world, but these are in the world, right? So those disciples and them will not mean they are part of the world, but you know them in the world now. You know? And I come to the Holy Father. Keep to thine own name those whom thou hast given me, right? That they may be one as we are. So Christ just saying, you know, all of we had to be one. All had to be on the same accord. All of we had to be on one accord. The disciples, me and you, the Father. All of we had to be on one accord. All right? Go ahead.
Verse 12. While I was with them in the world, I kept them in thy name. Those that thou givest me, I have kept, and none of them is lost, of perdition, that the scripture might be fulfilled.
Right. What Christ talking about, you know?
Marcus, you go one more time,
Yeah, we have to bargain on somebody else for the scripture where Christ was saying he didn't come to save everybody. I can't remember it offhand, but I could find that. Yes, well okay.
Come, verse 12. While I was with them in the world, I kept thy name. Those that thou gavest me, I have kept, and none of them is lost, but the son of perdition, that the scripture might be fulfilled.
Anybody else understand that? Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Right, so while Christ was walking with his disciples, he kept them in the reputation that the Most High, meaning they follow everything the Most High said to do. In spirit, it's supposed to. And only one that he's speaking about is lost, which is parable. I think, see in Isaiah, I think it is. Where somebody would betray much more than Judas. The son of perdition is the son of sin. The one that follow after the devil, after Satan, which was Judas Iscariot.
Right, that's right. Yeah, that is exactly the son of perdition. That's talking about Judas. All right, this son of perdition is talking about Judas here. All right. Who are the scripture? I'll find it. But Christ he didn't have to say everybody. The scripture. I think it's in Matthew 13. Try Matthew 13 on. Yeah, Matthew 13. Matthew 13. Right, yeah, Matthew 13 and 10. Matthew chapter 13 and verse 10. Right. You could read on Matthew, like you have it.
Book of Matthew, chapter 13 and verse 10. And the disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, Let's 10 alone or continue?
Continue.
He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but unto them it is not given. Salakia. Verse 12.
Right. Yes. There's a good thing I read. Read read up to yeah, read verse 15. Read verse 15.
Start at 15.
Yeah, read verse 15.
Okay. Book of Matthew, chapter 13 and verse 15. For the people's heart is wax gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and shall be converted, and I shall heal them.
Right? So right there Christ says, so the disciples come and ask Christ, now why is it speaking to us in parables? Right? Because higher up, no, disciples came and said unto him, why speakers unto them in parables? Right? So the disciples say, why are you speaking to the multitude in parables? Right? But of course, when you're speaking to the disciples, you don't speak so. So Christ was saying, it is given unto you, the disciples, to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. But to them, the multitude, it is not. Right? So again, now in verse 15, as we just read, Christ said, if they understand, some people heart so wicked, wax gross. Some people so wicked, their heart so wax gross and evil, right? And the ears is dull of hearing, the eyes closed. Least at any time they should see with their eyes, right? Meaning Christ make them start to see now, and hear with their ears. Christ make them start to understand now, right? And they should understand with their hearts and should be converted, and I should heal them. Right? That is why Christ just talked to them in parables. Christ didn't want to save everybody. Right? This truth is not for the whole. As the scripture says in Revelation, only 1/3 will be saved. Only 1/3 is going to get saved. Yeah, it's had a scripture I want to think I lost it. You know, Revelation 10.
Yeah, so like yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right, I just want to find out, well, when I get chances to get a better explanation then in terms of how I'm going to explain the balance in the two, right? Because I understand what you say is according to scripture. I just want to find out with verse 20, how I explain it to get the balance then on John 17 and 20. Like if somebody should ask now how it is I will explain or break it down.
Read it, am I here? John 17 and 20, read it, am I here?
The book of John chapter 17 and verse 20. Neither neither pray I for these alone, but for them also which shall believe on me through thy word.
That is it?
Yeah, that is it. That is against this thing balance on the explanation.
Yeah, what you want to understand about it?
Right. So according to the scriptures, we understand as it breaking down that Christ wasn't teaching everybody. All right. But in terms of this scripture, how I explaining now the balance in it. In terms I say here now that I'm not praying for these alone, but for them also which shall believe. So in other words, if I explain it, how is the right as also really explain it then.
That's what I'm trying to look at the scripture, right? That was 20. Read 19 over here.
Come on. The book of John chapter 17 and verse 19. And for their sakes I sanctify myself, that they also might be sanctified through the truth. Verse 20. Neither pray I for these alone, but for them also which shall believe on me through thy word.
Right, and you want to know how you could explain Christ didn't come to save everybody, but
with the scripture that was brought up before this, just to give an explanation on how, to lay down if somebody should ask.
Right. Well, of course, those I trying to what is it? I'm sure. Well, of course, again, you could just use the same thing I just said. 1/3 are going to be saved. So that people who he praying for, those set of people, the disciples and the other people, is just a 1/3. It's not everybody. It ain't gonna be everybody. Right? You could basically just use that same thing in a nutshell. Right? Yes, Christ did come to save other people, but it's not everybody. Right? It's not everybody. It's not all black people in Trinidad who get saved. Just a few. Yet as our word.
So I guess they come here, right? That also have two kind of scriptures that me supported, but I want to know if I have it in the right context as well. Like when we get it as well, that somebody understand, right?
You had the scripture?
Yeah. Part is the same one. The same thing that talk about one should be saved by the fire, but somewhere around they close they talk about the Jonah. So like using the same situation with Jonah, which means if they were happy, if they would listen, right? Majority of people wouldn't listen, but in terms of like putting a specific number, I want to say okay, what the cost, which is not really our culture, let's say that number. So like I want it, but it's saying like a small amount will be saved because they choose to listen.
Yeah.
Because and then you want to refer into what like we support to do to support. A breakdown would be and actually talk about them as many of them as I give. Or as many of them will receive them. We receive what this Christ said, that them will get power to become the sons of God.
Right.
Like that.
So as many as them receive, that's a good one. You can't remember the exact scripture, but that's a two of one. Right? As many as them see if we can find it on right? So, but you understand right, Maka?
Right, can.
All right. Everybody else to have, right? Everybody to have. Right. See who are the scripture Revelations 10. Revelations 10 and 1.
The book of Revelation, chapter 10 and verse 1. And I saw another mighty angel coming down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, and a rainbow was upon his head, and his face was as it were the sun, and his feet as pillars of fire.
Right. Right. So there is revelation, right? So this, of course, as always, it is a vision, right? That John the Revelator is seeing. Right? So John is seeing a vision. So he saw this angel coming down from heaven with a cloud, right? With a cloud and a rainbow was upon his head, right? The rainbow, what the rainbow represents? The cloud was around him because we come from the Most High. that cloud was around him before he come from the Most High. The rainbow now was around his head. For what reason? Right? What the rainbow represents and what his head.
Yeah, so I can say.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not too sure. I stand to be corrected, but I know the rainbow for Israel represented the covenant that the Most High made with us. But in terms of the proper application and revelation, I'm not too
Right, that's
not too sure.
yeah, that is it. It represents, the oath that the Lord made at us with the rainbow. Of course, you all know that story with the ark. You understand? The Lord said he ain't gonna flood the earth no more. Again, right? That what the rainbow represents. The Lord made an oath he ain't gonna flood the earth no more. Right? So then why was the rainbow upon the head of this angel? Right? Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, no, sir, yeah. Right, so again, of course, this rainbow was upon its head, this angel's head, right? Of course, meaning the mind to make this angel remember the oath that the Lord took to not flood the earth with water anymore. Right? Because of course this angel was coming to destroy. Right? So he came down with a rainbow upon its head. So this angel could remember, hey, the Lord said not to destroy the people on this earth anymore with water again. Right? So that what the rainbow is for, just to make the angel remember the oath on his mind. Right? And his face was as it was the sun, right? And his face was as it was the sun. Right? So it was just his face was as it was the sun, meaning immense power, right? Given to him by the Most High. Right? And at the same time, he will honor the oaths that the Lord took. So this angel have an immense power from the Most High to do whatever he wants to do. Right? He coming to destroy. But at the same time, he have this immense power. He have this rainbow around his mind, his head, to make him remember. The Lord said, do not destroy the earth or the people again. Do not destroy the people again with water. Right? Do not destroy the people again with water.
So I guess so.
Go ahead.
So like when we check back there, like with when we watch his head and his face, what they saying, like the same for like more or less something like it's more or less saying something like what happened with Moses, right? When Moses went up and he same like when he had to cover up the the field, the shyness of the Moses on the face, right?
We're talking about his face was at the sun. We're talking about that.
Yeah, well when they check back, we're seeing like with the angel, how the angel face shining. To show like the power from the Most High.
Right, no.
So they check back what happened like with Moses and all too, right? So the same like the glory of the Most High was and Moses' face, so the same like the same thing here what happening here?
No, it's something different because remember here they just say, and his face was as it were the sun, right? Just meaning an immense power, right? It's an immense power. That is just what it means, right? It wasn't the same thing, right? And feet as the pillar of fire, right? So that was just meaning destruction, right? As the pillar of fire, right? His feet as the pillar of fire, destruction. So wherever the angel stand up, destruction. Wherever he is, destruction. right? And his feet as pillars of fire, right? He ain't going to destroy the people again with water. So obviously, it's fire. Going to destroy them with no. Right. Yeah, go on verse 2. Let's see.
Verse 2. Book of Revelation, chapter 10 and verse 2. And he had in his hand a little book open, and he set his right foot upon the sea, and his left foot on the earth.
Right, so one foot on the sea. Yes. Right, the right foot upon the sea, and the left foot upon the earth. Right? Again, that represents destruction, because as I was talking about the pillars of fire in verse 1. Right? The pillars of fire. Right? And his feet as pillars of fire. Right? We'll get back to the little book just now. Right? So his right foot on the sea, his left foot on the earth. It's talking about destruction. Right? That what the pillars of fire is one, as I was saying. Right? He's going to bring destruction in the world. This is verse 3.
Verse 3. And cried with a loud voice, as when a lion roared. And when he had cried, 7 thunder uttered their voices.
Right? 7 thunders uttered their voices. Right? I believe, when you look up thunders in Greek, it just means voices, as I was saying here. And 7 thunders uttered their voices. Right? Continue, we'll come back to that one. Go ahead on verse 4.
Verse 4. And when the 7 thunders had uttered their voices, I was about to write. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Seal up those things which the 7 thunder uttered, and write them not.
All right, so the 7 thunders was speaking. So John was going to write what they were saying. Then a voice stopped him. Right? Yeah. Read it over again, verse 4.
Book of Revelation, chapter 10 and verse 4. And when the 7 thunders had uttered their voices, I was about to write. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Seal up those things which the 7 thunders uttered, and write them not.
All right, so the 7 voices talking, John about to write. Then one of a voice stopped him from writing. You understand? Go ahead over here, verse 5.
Verse 5. And the angel which I saw stand upon the sea and upon the earth lifted up his hand to heaven.
Verse 6.
And swear by him that liveth forever and ever, who created heaven, and the things therein are, and the earth, and the things that are therein are, and the sea, and the things which are therein, that there should be time no longer.
Right? That there should be time no longer. Right? So we're gonna get into it some more next week, but basically this just talking about destruction with fire. How let's get destruction with fire, nuclear bomb, the angels are the Lord's coming. This is just talking about the last days, the destruction to mankind. Right, this was this basically talking about it, right? Not with water. They ain't going to kill nobody with water, right? But with fire. Right? This is basically what he's talking about it. Right, we're going to get some more next week. We're going to break it down. Right, anybody any questions? That is it? Anybody any questions?
What's that, is it?
Yes, as well.
Yeah, what's the mark of Cain? What is the mark of Cain?
The mark of Cain, right? That is the one who the Lord banished.
Right.
Yeah. His redness.
Okay.
Right? Or his skin complexion then.
Right.
Right, that is the mark of it. Right, I remember when the general was saying, once they see that mark, red means stop, you know. I believe they were saying, when they see Cain, don't kill him.
Right.
Some of just paraphrasing what he was saying.
Right.
Right, so yeah, once they see, that is the mark of Cain. Right, yeah. Right. Once they see that, you know that is Cain. You see, yeah, I'm sure.
We see in Revelation 10, right? And 1 and 2, right? When I reach back from, and his feet as the pillar of fire, they don't say destruction, right? And then so when you go in back in verse 2 and thing, right? And he had his hand in a little book open, and he set his right on the sea, right? And his left foot on the earth, right? So I say like when we check back on the earth, I say like a nuclear thing. I wanna like when we see like any sea or one thing, right? That's wanna know like if it's like same like with powers that they move like tsunamis and like if it's tsunamis and things coming.
No, that is just fire, nuclear bombs, whoever in the sea, them are all going to get destroyed. And that is what we're talking about. Right? Fire, pillars of fire. That's what they're talking about. Right? You're going to have people in the sea too. Them coast guards and them, all them going to get destroyed. Right? Let's see. That is it, right?
So I guess I have one question, right? Off topic, but in the book of Leviticus, we're talking about the Sabbath, right? When they say 6 days should work be done, in Leviticus 23, right? And for the seventh is the day of rest. Shall be a holy convocation. You should do no work therein, right? I know some people that say with that you're not supposed to cook and do all these different things, right? But I want to find out.
I mean, yeah, you could use it, but what would be the first thing you should tell it? Cooking is not survival work. You ain't doing no survival work.
I know, I understand. Yeah, kind of understand what you survival work that I was saying. I know we know it's not what the Christians might have in their head, but I just wanted to find out if this precept could be used to show that one could cook on the Sabbath.
Okay, well, just you will still have to go back to saying survival work because a Christian now might read this and say, well, it's in saying cook. So they might say, well, that means I could go and buy something and eat. Okay, it's in saying cook, right? Saying every man must eat.
I know, I know we gotta go to the survival work and stuff like that, but just the mere fact that how the 23 wasn't saying like actually survival work in Leviticus 23 and so that's just the reason why I had asked that. But I understand what you say.
Christian will still say that it's in saying cook, so you know. But survival work, that is basically what you have to go into.
Or if we like we say that now, because now we say survival now, that means some people actually work when they're working for employers will come under bakeries and them things too. So as the most in scripture said, because when you know what say on the verses
Exodus 12 and 16.
And in the first day there shall be an holy convocation, and the 7th day there shall be an holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only be done of you. Because I remember when GEN.YAHANNA was saying that, like, when something when numbers when the fellas picking up staff, actually, like, some of them work is actually jobs. Like the picking up stick was like jobs itself too. So it has some of the works that more actually will be like using fire itself, but actually jobs itself that that we got to think, because like when come back under like bakery and thing, there are people working for people on that baking and other thing go and using fire and all. So some baking will be some people survival. Baking I think will be some people survival itself too.
So you say cooking could be survival, right? Cooking, it could be a survival, a slave, like a chef, right? Could be considered survival, but that is why again you have to go back. Once it is not a survival, right? Once it is, and then again too, you could, if they're still in Nile, they could bring out the if they're still going to go down that hard, bring out the one with I forget how it does go. I'm paraphrasing with the ox now. Oh boy, I forget how it does go. The Christ was talking about with the ox. Say again? Right, the ox fall in a ditch. You go leave it. Right? If the people are hungry, you have to go and cook some, save them. Right? But again, it's just basically work. Right?
And so I guess what is right, let's say in this announcement, right? So the Sabbath day is if we say in this announcement, now we could really show that we could really we could cook and thing, right? Because the Sabbath day is a convocation, right?
Yeah, holy convocation, yeah.
Right, so the Sabbath day is convocation. So that means more or less now the Passover is a holy convocation, the Feast of Tabernacles and all the other thing we wear about the thing with the bread and thing, and we have to cook and what kind of thing to on the same Passover and thing, and bread too. So now we could go to the other convocations to show that they could cook on the Sabbath itself too, because there's convocations and all, right?
Yeah, you could show them that, yeah. You could cook on it, Nobody enslaved it. Yeah, that's all.
So I guess they show me, right? They value the class, right? But if the Christian want to go down die hard, as well as the Salaki coming. If the Christian want to go down die hard, and they say, already, you shouldn't be cooking at all, you shouldn't be walking through the body Sabbath. So like it's a good man. So I'd be like, okay, if that's the case, why you don't come and bring all your friends and everything to the I.S.U.P.K, so I can come back and this whole thing there. And you have to pull away.
Yeah. Yeah, tell them come. Yeah, they got to tell them all that. Right? Yeah, what's that, man? Right, so you talk about that math, Shah, you.
Yeah.
That is everybody else. Everybody talk about. Alright, Alright, yeah, but without as far as the cast of time, peace and love, Tazo.
Alright, security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West 125th Street, New York. Under command, new brothers and sisters. Right, when any brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be submitted only. They here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if your brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months. Brother or sister will report each other. After the 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is the commandment. You can find this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi, chapter 3, verses 8 to 10. Means 10 in Hebrew and is pronounced Ma'aishara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher, priest fund, through an offering for priests, non-mandatory. Whatsoever amount you like to give. A common holy convocation, all right, is the feast of dedication or Hakanaka in Hebrew, all right, the 25th day of the 9th month by the space of 8 days. It starts at Wednesday, December the 9th at sundown, 2020. For 8 days, you can find this in the book of Maccabees, chapter 4, verses 52 to 61. All right, remind Akem, which means brothers, and Akwatian, which means sisters, to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and the social media platforms you're on for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. If your brother wants to be a trooper in school, he needs to start wearing all black, which includes like black boots, like shirts, like pants, like headbands and stuff. And with that, we say, imagine which means to stand on your Akpodam and face the east. So you say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew first. Abanao. Shabbat Shemayah. Wadash. Ayah. Shamka. Yahweh. Malakwaka. Tabaha. Ratazaka. Ayah. Aisha. Ba'aratazak. Kawa. Ayah. Bashamayah. Natananao. Bakam. Kad. Yawam. Masalaknao. Kabatnao. Kasalaknao. Bostinao. Wala'a. Tabaino. Manasaya 1. Abal. Oshaino. Ayan. Ra. Ayah. Laka. Amalakwa. Wahala. Atapara. Laiwalamia. Aman.
The Lord's Prayer in English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it.
All right, this is the prayer for the lessons of the power structure in the school. Barakatay Howard. Wayawashad. Amakala. Wa Alahaya. Madazabia. Alawapihan. Alawapihan. Asiranian. Akwatizanian. Akiyalian. Wakwatian. Yahweh. Bashem. Yahushai. Wala Aman.
In English, what he said was, bless you, Yahweh, and Yahushai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding generals, captains, officers, troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it.
All right, this is how come the prayer for the power in Hebrew. Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Babakasha, Natananao, Aka, Rabah, Kan Makala, Makan Manawa, Aka, Mataha, Amatazarian, Aka, Nakoyam, Amatir, Aka, Arakwa, Atamala, Magarasham, Bashem, Yahushai, Wala Aman.
In English, what we said was Yahweh. In the name of Yahushai. Please give us the power. Power to heal. All manner of sickness. All manner of disease. Power to cleanse the leper. Power to raise the dead. Power against unclean spirits. Cast them out. In the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it. I.S.U.P.K curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, all things living, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai. Listen to us now, right now, send evils and curses, punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school, send evils and curses, punishment and destruction to the heathen
I'll shake loose.
shake loose.
The treasure of the rich of Israel. Refuse to give to the school.
Refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches.
Force their riches.
And into thy
Enter
sanctuary.
thy sanctuary.
Send evils and
Send evils and
curses.
curses.
Punishment and destruction.
Punishment and destruction.
To the Edomites.
Edomites.
And the nation.
And the nations.
And their drug
And their drug dealers.
Court system.
Court system.
Prison system.
Prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments of our enemies.
All the governments of our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and
Amalek
armies.
synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
Pope. Islam.
Islam.
Christianity. Egyptology. Militia. Ku Klux Klan. Aryan Nation. Skinheads. Fuzzy Komatazi. Gay movement. Lesbian movement. Spies. Workers of witchcraft. NASA space program. Army. Navy. Air Force. Marines. Wall Street. Open up the internet. And the areas. Cable access channel. And the radio channel. Convict the spirit. Any of thy people. That seek to stop us. Bring swift destruction. All the heathens. That stand in the way. Try to stop us. From broadcasting your words. Throughout the planet. Let loose all the plagues. Cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh, Michael and Gabriel come down with the flying sword. Punish all the heathens that come up against us. Speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all. It is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media, throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh. Thank you all. So be it.
All right, this is the prayer that blessed Israel in Hebrew. Yahweh. Ba'ashem. Yahushai. Rabbanu. Ma'ashal. Abayat. Safari. Barak. Rabah. Magun.
Kwasi Kila. All the brothers and sisters fighting to come into truth. And all the brothers and sisters in the truth.
Commander General Yahanna. All the generals. Captains. Officers. Troopers. Sisters. Children. Destroy the Israel. Brothers and sisters fighting to come into the truth. I.S.U.P.K worldwide. And their families. I.S.U.P.K Trinidad and Tobago. And their families. Itisha. Tazapa. Yapa. Tamar.
Commanding General Yana. General. Captain. Officer. Troopers. Sisters. Children. All the destroyed of Israel. Raknapash. Shariah. Indian family. Muslim family. Philip family.
Commanding General Yahanna. All the generals, all the captains, all the officers, all the troopers, all those fighting to come to the truth. Shamka, Kaya, Yapa, Para.
Commanding Generals, Captains, Officers, Troopers, Students, Sisters, Children. Brothers and sisters fighting to come to the truth. Have mercy upon all the destroyed of Israel. Have mercy upon all our families. Next brother.
Commander Generals, Captains, Officers, Troopers, Sisters, Children. Officer Yakar family. Officer Barrett and family. And all the destroyed of Israel.
Brothers and sisters fighting to come into the truth.
Brothers and sisters fighting to come into the truth.
Brothers and sisters in I.S.U.P.K. Train and babies in I.S.U.P.K. Franco family. Wrong family. Zion. Wesleyan. Daniela. Nima. Khadija. Chantel. Fisher. Myron.
Ba'ashem Yahushai. What man?
Right, in English, what we said was Lord. In the name of Yahweh. Bless us and Israel. And the school. Bless. Heal. Shield. Protect all of us. In the name of Yahweh.
Thank you.
So be it. So be it. Beloved sir, we're going to give the teacher one quick salute. I'm Madam Shabbat. I'm Madam Barak.
Yahweh Hashem Shabbat.
Yajimata. Sir, tell them his sisters. Beloved you're going to give the sisters online. Salakia. Sir, tell them his sisters. Right? We're going to give the sisters one quick salute. Beloved I'm Madam Shabbat. I'm Madam Barak. Yahweh Yajimata, class dismissed.
I will excuse my minute. Anybody have anything? That's some water here. Some glass.
Well, that's Salakia. Princess, apologies. My sincere apologies. How can I not say that? That's not the wonderful game. Everybody go ahead. Wait.
No, that's right. Something. Yeah.
Princess, go ahead.
This is
Officer McQuack, read it. Okay.
That's not that all. And y'all finished?
Yeah.
YouTube.
YouTube.